What's up? This is your girl, Yo. I am here. It is April 26th, 2022. My days are running together. I'm sorry. So wait, hold on for a second. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. I had to let somebody know something. It is tonight. We are talking about, is marriage a necessity? Is marriage a necessity? And I was supposed to have a few people on, so let's get it started to see if they're going to log on or not. But what you going to do first? What we going to do first? Oh, wait. We got to do some administrative things. Go to Facebook. Go to Let's Grow with Yo-Yo. Like and share the page. And then hop over to YouTube and go to Let's Grow with Yo-Yo and subscribe and like the videos. Also on Instagram, it's Yo-Yo7393001. Like and share. Like and share. Like and share. I know it's a lot going on today, and I'm here early tonight. But I'm here early because I wanted to accommodate a few people to do the live with, but we're going to go and work to see how we're going to go. All right, so first things first, did you know in Black history, Henry Blair was the second Black inventor to receive a patent in the United States? Born in Maryland in 1807, his first invention was a seed planter, and that was to help farmers plant seed in a shorter and lesser time and faster. Blair received his second patent in 1836 for a cotton planter, which used two shovels like blades to split the ground open in order for cotton seeds to be planted. That is your Did You Know in Black history. Did you know in Black history? It is a wonderful thing that we have out here. People don't know that Black history is an intricate part of the United States and things that we have done for this country. So that is why I do a Did You Know in Black history. Well, we're going to try to get this party started. Hey, Dizella girl.
Hello, everybody.
How art thou?
I'm wonderful. What about you all?
We are doing good on this end, girl. We are doing hold on. We are doing good. People are having trouble logging on. I don't know what's going on. I sent the I don't know. So anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself, Dizella Latrice. I'm about to say living in there. I ain't really. It came out there. My bad, Shorty.
My name is Dizella Marshall, and I'm 51 years old. I live in Killeen, Texas.
Are you married, single, divorced?
I have been married for 31 years, but I've been with my husband for 34 years.
You've been married that long?
Yes, since 1991. July the 4th, 1991.
Oh, y'all old.
Watch it.
Y'all are old out there.
We have 3 children and 4 granddaughters.
Oh, my babies. They're my babies. They're my babies. That's good. That's good to know. Look who's here. Record, put your face in it. There you go. And y'all know record.
Hello, Miss Marshall or Mrs. Marshall, is it?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I'm so sorry. I thought they all started at 7:30, Yomi.
It usually does start at 7:30, but it was a guest that was going to come on tonight. They wanted it earlier because they're on East Coast time.
Yeah.
So it kind of would have pushed them later.
Oh, okay.
So I came on earlier today. Ricard, tell us a little about yourself. Are you married, single, divorced, in a situationship, an entanglement? What you got going on?
Man, I got all that going on. I'm just saying. But I am I'm married. We've been together since 93. So it's been a long time. But yeah, she get on my nerves. I'm my Ricard. I'm retired. What'd you say?
I said I'm telling Kim.
Oh, I tell her too every day. But I'm retired from the military. I run my own company. Now that I'm retired, my company name is Dressir Inc. I created some lanyards specially made because of the pandemic. I created it and patented it. And what was the other question you told me? What you told me? Oh, okay.
That's all. Yeah.
I said too much.
So I had a lady. She's going to be late. She just texted me and said she's going to be a little late. Who isn't married and chooses not to be. So my question on now is, since we have 2 married couples up here and I'm single, what made you want to get married? I'm gonna start with you, Nicole.
Hold on. Do you want the truthful answer, or you want me to give you the book answer?
I want the truth.
Well, the truthful answer is Kim basically told me that we get married because I ain't going to the army and leaving her.
You're gonna stop putting Kim out like that. You're gonna stop.
Hey, she told it was some older women who had older than us, and they had husbands in the military. They was like, "Girl, if you let him go in there, he go to Germany. He gonna come back one of them German women. You better marry him, I'm telling you." And hey, bloom. Next thing I know, I was telling her, I could go over there for 2 years if I don't get married, and you don't come. But we got married. But that was the reason I got married. But I'm glad I did, because I believe without her, I would have, she like my happy medium. She keep me grounded. If I ain't had nobody telling me when I'm doing wrong, I wouldn't have knew. So I'm glad I did.
Dizella, what made you get married?
What made me get married is when I first saw my husband, God unctioned me to let me know that was my husband. So that's why I got married.
You say he did what to you?
It was unction, like a feeling. He let me know in my spirit.
Okay.
So he unctioned you. He made it known that this man was your spouse. But what if he didn't see that? Then what?
What if he didn't see it?
Yeah.
That would have been between him and the Lord. I was doing my part.
Did you tell him that?
No.
Okay.
I didn't tell him. And then the way it worked, the way it happened, because I had went to a part of Germany that he was in, because my mother and my stepfather was moving there, and my fiance was in ENTC in California.
So basically, she was cheating. Y'all.
No. Listen. No, I was not.
You
No,
wrong,
ma'am.
Yomi.
No, ma'am.
She
So
had a fiance but got an unction to marry somebody else.
that's the truth. And I didn't sleep with my husband. I didn't sleep with him. I just knew. Huh?
Y'all went out on dates or anything?
No.
Okay.
I had met him one particular night. He was with a female. And when I got that feeling, I asked her, was that her man? And she said yes. I asked her what his name was, and she told me.
Mhm.
I went back to Baumholder where I was at. Him and my mom was in Boosbach. So I didn't see him anymore until I moved back when my boyfriend went to NTC. But we didn't never sleep together or anything. I just knew that was my husband.
So when your boyfriend went to NTC and you moved back, did y'all start hanging out? Did you start talking to him?
Well, immediately what I did was got in touch with my boyfriend and let him know, hey, it's a wrap.
Dang, Ma, she had that good.
No, we hadn't slept together.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying he had that,
No, because I knew.
light-skinned man with the green eyes and got control of you. That what it was.
No, it was just that I knew.
Yomi, quit messing up her story.
I know.
I'm just
Messing up her story. That's her love story. That's a nice story.
He at least she didn't ask somebody, well, you better get married. So so me being single, I was married at one point in time. Didn't work out. We should have never got married. Let's just say that. I think we both rushed into a marriage because I think we wanted to be married, but he was not supposed to be my husband. Just not. Would I love to be married again? Of course. That is something that I really desire to be is married. But I'm gonna tell you, at one point in time, I was like, forget it. I don't want to get married. I just want to be out here fancy feet. What is it?
Footloose and fancy free.
There you go. Footloose and fancy free. That's what I want. But then as I got older, I was like, no, I don't want to be footloose and fancy free. I want to be out here. I want a companion. I want somebody that I can share my life with. Somebody that loves me unconditionally, loves the Lord unconditionally. That I can tell my deepest dark secrets to, so I don't have to call my Gazella or Renita and sometimes record and blur out my stuff that's going on. So that's what I think I desire about being married. So let me ask this question. Do you think marriage is an investment?
Me? Or
yes, of course. Marriage is a
why?
Why? Because you invest your time, you invest your emotions, you invest financially, emotionally. It's a major investment.
Probably the biggest investment you'll ever make if y'all stay together.
Exactly.
I like.
So, let me ask this question: can you still have that investment even if you're not married? You can still have time, money, financial, right?
But
if you're not,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can go ahead, Ricard.
Me would have said yes, but it's security, because at any point, if you're a man, maybe not as much think of it as an investment without being married, but a woman, I could definitely understand. Like it would definitely be an investment. I mean, what it looked like if this woman put all this energy into this man, and then all of a sudden he just, he could just up and leave at any moment. Y'all have these ties together, y'all done build stuff together, but yet you don't have no security that this man can't just walk away. And if he does, hey, we're gonna go to court, and then you still gonna pay for some of this stuff over here. So I mean, yeah,
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
But let me ask this. I'm gonna ask this question, and I want y'all to think about this. I understand what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying. That okay, what if you the man or the woman gets tired, they just up and leave. But if you have a home together, if you have properties together, and both of y'all, man, you're not, even if y'all are not married, you ain't just gonna get up and leave because that's an investment, right? That's something both of y'all put your heart, sweat, and tears into it. So why would you up and leave just because you don't have a piece of paper saying that?
Because okay, in the state of Texas, if you do have that investment and property and stuff like that, long as that, let's say that woman wants to leave the relationship, all she have to do is call the constable. After she write him a letter or he writes her a letter, after 30 days, that person has to leave. And then the investment, the property and stuff like that, they have to go through civil court. So it's still not a guarantee that woman is going to get anything or that man is going to get anything.
If you both purchase a house and house in both of your name, right? You go to court. In Texas is a common law state, right? If you this is because we learned that. If I walk and say this is my husband, whether or not we have that piece of paper in the state of Texas, if you say that he's my husband and I'm your wife, they consider y'all husband and wife. As soon as y'all say that, they consider you husband and wife, whether you have that piece of paper or not. Now, if you want to leave that relationship or stay in that or whatever you want to do, you have to actually go to court. And it's not a divorce, but it's not an annulment. I forgot what it's called. But you have to sever ties. So that means y'all have to split property, just like you would have to do in a divorce.
Okay, Yomi.
Right?
Yeah, Yomi. But get this. If you're not actually married, say one of you are married and the other one of you have
married. Hold on now.
No, say if you're not married and you're not married and one of you have a job that's better than the other one and they got, like, say, the military, a person that's, if you're not actually married and got that piece of paper that you keep saying, the person you with can't get none of those benefits. They don't reap the benefits of that. They can't use your benefits to go to school for free, or if it's a civilian job, they can't get on your medical insurance.
Yes, they can. In the state of Texas,
not in the military. They can't.
No, not in the military. But if you're a civilian, you can. I guess, let's say me and you are in a relationship. We live together. We got a house together. You can get on my benefit. You know what I'm saying? You can as a civilian, but you can't get on. Honey, it's done. Believe me, it is done.
Okay.
You don't have to have a marriage certificate showing. You can say this is my husband, and they're gonna take your word for it.
Oh, so basically, you're not. So you're saying you can lie about it instead of just getting the paper.
Well, if y'all living together and you're saying you're
but
a common law marriage,
you
hold on, listen to me.
Okay.
In the state of Texas, as long as you say you're a common law marriage, you don't have to register as common law, but you go down to the courthouse and say, I'm living with this man. We've been living together for 2 years. We consider each other husband and wife. And they'll put in the system that y'all are common law marriage. No piece of paper, no marriage certificate.
Okay.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
So I'm saying you can still do the same thing y'all doing as marriage, right?
But let me ask you this. Why would you invest your all into something that could be temporary? Whether it's temporary a year or temporary 10 years. Why invest so much of yourself and stuff with this individual?
I feel
I want to say that people don't go into it saying that it's only temporary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people out here that bought homes together with somebody that they're not in a relationship with. They're not going into it saying that we're going to split up. Just like saying you and your husband or your wife work hard, y'all bought a house together. Who's to say, God forbid, that y'all don't divorce?
That we divorce?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you know, and y'all get divorced, you know, nothing is not like saying it's a possibility, but you don't go into the relationship thinking, oh, I may leave eventually.
Nah, man, I'm telling you, it's that piece of paper that you keep saying, it's a lot more with that. I feel, you know me, for especially being a woman that's around my age, for you to say that, something has broken you like that, men or something, because most women feel like, man, or maybe this just your topic and you just going all over the place, but are these your real feelings?
These are my questions. These
Oh,
are my
your questions. Okay, okay. So these ain't your true feelings. Okay, but any woman that would
because I
feel,
had somebody who was supposed to come on here, and she actually, she doesn't want to be married.
yeah, I wish she was here because I would want to know, because most women, now a man will ride that great, we'll ride that train forever, because but for most women, they want that symbol, that
Now,
piece of
hold
paper.
on.
I think most,
You
not
say
all.
most women, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of women out here who do not want to get married.
that's our age.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a
That,
lot
hey,
of women.
because I
And the
just feel
reason
like,
is because they're stuck like, hey, I have what I want. You know what I'm saying? I have my home, or I have my career. I have everything I want, and I'm okay with it. I don't want to. There's a lot of women who don't want to answer to somebody else, or they want to have that sneaky link,
yeah.
and that's all they want at our age,
No,
right?
I
So
understand. It's to each his own. I just feel like a man, it I guess I would say with some men or most men, being married is not like at the top of our list like with women, but it's women. I'm sure it's women out there, just like you say, that they don't really care about marriage. But I think I would be like, if I'm a woman, because women, y'all invest a lot into a relationship, like
we
being
do.
with. Exactly. So if I'm a woman, now I need that. Hey, you gonna give me that piece of paper. If we go, I ain't about to put 10, 20 years. And at this
Right.
point, with me and Kim, being a man, hell, I would want it. I want to get married again. And I ain't never thought about that. I'm clearly the guy. Oh. Yeah, so no, man. I do feel like it's important. But you'd have called me 10, 15 years ago, my responses would not be the
I
same.
know your response a long time ago.
Yeah, I know.
So let me ask this question. So, do you believe friendship, having that foundation, is important for any marriage? Oh, but let me get to the reason why I'm asking the question is because some people get married and don't have that foundation. Do you believe that's an important part in a marriage or a committed relationship?
I do, for the simple fact, because if it wasn't for that, and we didn't plan on it, but Kim, we was like best friends. I could walk in and out of her house without knocking, and her mom wouldn't say anything, and we wasn't fooling around. So I already loved her prior to us ever being together. We was just friends, and it changed, and because of we could literally sit and say anything to one another. Like when people see us together, how we act, they was like, y'all act like y'all friends. Even just the other day, my daughter that's here, the one that I told you had the baby, she said, sometimes you say crazy stuff to Kim and then y'all just bust out laughing. I say, that's because she know I'm just joking. We know each other like that. She said, I be thinking y'all serious. I was like, don't ever, if you hear us saying something crazy, that you can best believe we playing. She said, I know, because y'all always laughing. Then she said, I want a relationship like that. I said, yeah, I literally got with my friend. She was my best friend, being a female. So I do believe that that's important. And if you take if you take sex out of the situation, it changes everything. Wait. Before, can I say one more thing about, it's not about me. I'll give you another example. My friend Marcus Hood, my best friend from back home, he said he never wanted to get married, and he never wanted to have a woman up under him all the time. I said, you're gonna be a lonely old man. But guess this, he had some medical problems, and he couldn't be sexually active or anything for a year and a half, since September of 2020. And he met his wife. He met his wife when he was going through his medical problem, and he said, man, if I could have had sex, I would have had sex with her and never ever, or probably would have gotten rid of her. He said, but because we got to know each other before sex, they met in September of 2020. They just had sex for the first time last month.
Well, praise the Lord. And
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
So communication is very important.
Okay, hold on. Dizella, what you think about that?
I totally agree. If because my case was a little bit different. We were not friends. And because we were not friends, we struggled. Even though God had already told me that's your husband, he didn't tell me the in between. You know, we didn't develop that friendship. So for a good 10, 15 years, we struggled with the communication, the lack of
Yep.
communication, because he only knew me as his wife, the mother of his children. He didn't know me in the beginning as his friend. We didn't take that time, and that could be because he was in the military, always traveling and going different places. So that could have been the issue. But once we became friends, the relationship got better and stronger.
Yep.
So I personally would advise anybody that's going into a relationship, become friends first.
Yep.
Get to know one another, you know, and it's not about the sex part. It's about the intimacy.
Yep.
Get off my subject, y'all. Get off
And
my
last
subject.
week, yeah, hey,
I
she
mean, no,
right about that.
it's on my thing. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying, okay, so here we go. I'm playing devil's advocate again. What if, I mean, my best friend is a dude, but we know we don't want to get married, but we have like the best relationship. We have, sex, we intimate, this, that, and the other. We live together. Why do I need that piece of paper? I understand you saying because he could walk out, I could walk out. But is that piece of paper such? Is it a deal breaker? Is it like a necessity? Is that I have to have this piece of paper saying Yomi Hewlett or somebody?
For some people, it is. For some people, it is very important. But for others, it may not be. But for at this point in my life, as even a man, I would, definitely, because my career path was the military, and I would want to share all of my benefits with my spouse. So, she could have better opportunities. And her opportunities are our opportunities. So I just feel like, and it's not all businesses and companies, I don't believe they would recognize that stuff that you're saying. I'm going to look that up after the show is over. But I just think it's a necessity if you want to truly grow things together. You know what I mean?
I see why it is and why some people don't want to be married. I mean, it's true. I mean, just for legality purposes, maybe. But you're my friend. You're my ride or die. You're my dog. We're going to travel together. We're going to do this. Why I got to have people when we still doing the same thing married people do?
I think it solidifies the relationship. And according to the word, it's better to marry than to burn.
There you go. Right in. Right. The word said it is better to marry than to burn. But let's get to this question. What if you may believe in the word, but y'all, in your relationship, as you grew up, you started going to church and stuff and getting in the word, but the person you're in love with doesn't have that same belief. Would you, and he's your husband, y'all are unequally yoked. Would it be a problem then?
Well, and they're already married.
Yep.
If the woman is truly religious, I don't see how that relationship could work, because they're going to literally have arguments about, because this person that don't believe, he going to say something, that she is totally against. That's going to cause issues, and that's a strain on the relationship right there. Religion or spiritually or whatever you believe is faith. Your faith is important. That's important in a lot of relationships, I'm telling you.
And then
go ahead, Sam.
And then too,
hey, what's that noise in the background?
That's not my phone, I don't think.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, go ahead.
Then too, in that case, whichever one is the strongest vessel, that's who the other gonna follow. Now, is she stronger and have a connection closer to God than he does because he don't believe? Then eventually he's gonna follow her. It might take time, a lot of time, and it's gonna take some tears, some sweat, some prayer. But if she's the stronger person, he's gonna eventually follow her. However, if he's the strongest person, she's gonna end up following him. That's why it's important to be on one accord.
Yeah.
But if you're already married,
Even in the marriage, even
I don't see
but if
that.
you're already, I was looking at something. God, what was it? It was a show. The lady, the lady was more into church than he was. She was more religious, but he went to church. You know what I'm saying? He went to church, but he wasn't like her. He didn't fast. He didn't pray. You know, like you say, when you like if she wants to fast, and he's like, no, I don't want to give up sex for 15 days. I don't want to give up sex for 21 days. But she's like, I really, you know, I want to go into this consecration. And but that's her husband. So she has to do what her husband, right? She can't just say, I'm not going to. You still have to take care of your man, right?
I don't.
Right.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but I don't see how. I think it would be a mistake for two people to get married and their beliefs or their faith is totally opposite.
No, I'm not saying get married like that. I'm saying if you're already married, like say Gisela and her husband. I don't know what just got in my throat, but Gisela and her husband, they've been married 120 years. She decided, you know, she wants to go to church. She started believing, praying more, reading her word, and her husband is not. Are you going to go away 30-something years, or are you going to still fight for your marriage? Because now I believe I'm saved. You know, I'm filled with the Holy Ghost. I'm praying for my husband, but my husband is still out here cussing people left and right, doing this and doing that.
It did happen. In my marriage, it did happen. I got saved. No, I'm just saying.
Right, go ahead.
No, it really happened. I got saved. He believed in God, but he was brought up Catholic. So his religion was way different, you know, from mine. But what I did was I prayed and I sought God. And I was like, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. And if this man is meant to give his life to you, that's between you and him. And we did have issues with me wanting to fast and him wanting sex. And I had to, you know, I had to honor my husband.
Right.
You know, to keep the peace. You know, the Lord knew. It didn't catch God off by surprise. Mm-hmm. But had he not got that foundation?
Brittany said, no, if he loves her, then he will support. You can't force a relationship or religion on anyone.
Exactly.
You can't. But in her situation, or like my situation, because they had already invested so much time in each other, that's all she could do was pray that eventually he would change, because she invested on two sides of that. So that's a whole different situation from is if y'all together and you believe, or y'all got married and thinking that, or him or her thought that maybe they could change the other one, and then it caused friction, and maybe they only been married a year or two. That's not a lot of time invested.
And now hold on, there's some people out here in this world that are been dating, got married. She want to go to church, he don't.
But I think
he
that's
goes to church. He doesn't go to church. But she's really firm in, I'm going to worship God, I'm going to pray, I want to do that. And he does not. Does that, I mean, I understand it might be a strain of marriage, but with that, do you think it can work? I think it still can work. Brittany said, I believe it can work. It can work. I believe if two people, regardless of their aspect on religion, if they really are willing to work together,
then
marriage can work, right?
Yeah. And that goes back to the investment that you were talking about.
Yep.
Because they both have stuff invested and they want this to work. It's gonna work.
Yes. They would have to set boundaries. You know, one of the things would be, when we're at home, we don't talk about religion. They would have to set boundaries. No matter what come on the TV, no matter what else is said, people come to your house, you let them know, we don't talk about religion in this house. That's it. So I believe it could work.
isn't that keeping one part of the people's is that making that other person hide what they want by saying we don't talk about religion in this house?
I don't believe so. I wouldn't believe so because if you can pray anywhere, you don't have to,
Right.
set up a spot. You can pray in the shower. You can pray on the toilet. You can read the Bible on the toilet, in the car,
right?
yeah, anywhere. So no, you can, but y'all just don't talk about it. You don't talk about religion. Just as simple as that. So I think if two people work at it, just like you said, it could work, but it would take a lot of work because people's faith is very important.
Right.
And it is. It is. Now, last week we talked about sex and intimacy
Yes.
on this here show.
Yeah.
It got a little crazy. But in a relationship, in your marriage, what's more important, intimacy or sex? McCullough.
Wow. You want me to answer that?
Yeah, I want you to answer that. I want you to answer
Man. Okay. Can I give you two answers?
that. Go ahead.
I was gonna give her two answers.
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's getting
Can I
my
can I give you two answers?
Go ahead.
Because from a male standpoint, in my earlier age, I would have thought it was sex because that's all I cared about. Like in my early 20s, sex was the most, man, it was more important to me than food. Right. And water. Sex was very important. And I wanted to have as much of it as I wanted to. So, but now I believe that intimacy is more important because without intimacy, what do you truly know about one another? Because, when we talked about it last week, it's 4 different types of intimacy. You know what I mean? So without it, I mean, how can you be with each other? Because communication is always, for me, number one. That's intimacy. That's the most intimate you can be with somebody. Being able to freely speak your mind to and from one another, to talk, reciprocate everything from one another. Just talk about any and everything. That clears your mind. And do you know what it does for your mentality? So I believe both is important. But at this point in my life, sex is not as important.
I completely agree.
Yeah, but I'm so serious because
I'm sorry.
are you? I was starting to wonder if you was breathing.
I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden it's like every time I try to talk, I get told that the devil is trying to be busy, but we rebuke you, Satan. Dezella, what do you think is more important, sex or intimacy, or both?
I think they're both important, but as Ricard stated, right now at this age, I think the intimacy is the most important. Back in the days, honey,
Exactly.
I wanted it when I wanted it, had to get it.
Exactly.
Didn't take no for an answer.
Yep.
But now,
you want to sit down,
intimacy
let's
is
talk.
very important.
Let's talk. How was your day?
Yeah.
You ask more questions to your partner. And
is that because the older you get? Is that the reason? Is that because you're getting older?
I don't think it has anything to. I'm sorry. I don't think it has anything to do with age limit. I think it has something to do with maturity, because once you get to a certain level, you put your priorities in different perspectives.
Man,
yes, in the beginning, we wanted to screw like them little rabbits.
Hey,
had to.
Yep.
But now, if my husband make love to my mind, he can get anything he wants.
Exactly.
He communicate with me, and we can be transparent and talk about any and everything, or laugh and joke about any and everything. That's better than sex to me.
Yeah, I feel like kind of like what she said. I wouldn't say it had to do with getting older, but as I matured, I started to realize, dang, this is more important. Going out here to these clubs with my homeboys, that ain't that important as hanging out with my children, my family, my grandkids now. having relationships with them.
Right.
So, because I was in the military for 21 years, so I was always gone. But now as I get away and I'm around more, I'm like, wow, I've been raised this child from the day she was born, and I ain't know that about her. I need to know these things about my kids. So
Right.
hanging with them, I hang with them more than I do. I don't go home every weekend, like I did back in the day. Yeah. So I think at this point in my life, I think that Kim told me my values changed. She say your values has changed because I started being around more. I started knowing what's important. I wish I had learned these things back, knew these things, or felt this way when I was younger, because I feel like we could have accomplished so much more. I feel like I was the reason we behind, and we really not behind, but we could be so much further along in life.
So let's say, like your friend, since he had his little problem, and he couldn't have sex, if something was to happen to where your significant other couldn't satisfy you, will you be okay with that sexually?
Yeah. Because hey, it's more than one way to skin a cat.
I know that's right.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, just know one thing don't work. There's other parts that does, and at the end of the day, when you reach that point, it's still coming out the same way.
There you go.
Your body's still gonna feel relief.
Oh God! You said your body's still gonna be relieved.
It's still gonna be relieved. Yep. Because sex is a need. One of a hierarchy of needs from Maslow. One of the hierarchy of needs. It's just as important as food and water and shelter.
Yeah, you're right.
So, is sex a real? Gosh, you said sex is a need. It's hot, and how does it rate to you? Like, some people say sex and finances can make or break a relationship. Do you think so?
Hell yes. Not yes, but hell yes. Because being a man and sex and finances is a lot. And I could understand, especially from a female standpoint, I could only imagine how much sex would be important, because, if the man ain't satisfying you, what you look like marrying that person? Because so you destined to be in a relationship of unhappiness. Excuse me. Yummy, you passing off your stuff to me.
I don't know what's going on. My God. Brittany said a good question is, how do you deal with a woman's sex drive changes due to her body changing? That's a good question.
It is. And like I said,
y'all don't go through menopause or have a baby and your body you got all these stretch marks or a C-section, or 1 minute your breast is perking and the next minute they're down on your knees. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because we go through our changes and stuff.
If a man can't accept that, then it's if a man don't respect all the things that a woman done been through, because you ain't gonna never hear me complain about a stretch mark or a muffin top or none of that. If you got all of that, that means you done been through some things, and those things are things that women go through. So we took part in when a woman gets pregnant, it's partially, 50% of it is our fault. So why would you get upset when your woman body changes due to that? Nah, I won't respect no man like that, because that means they don't appreciate a woman, and a woman will be with them, they'll never respect her. Any man that don't appreciate that and understand and accept that, it's no woman in this world that he could ever make happy.
Okay, let me ask this question to Zella. Now, you being a woman and you had babies, excuse me, good gosh, okay, excuse me, and you still, like some people don't use. First of all, I ain't lost my baby fat since Jarrell. That's what I tell myself. And she's 21, I still got it. Don't do it.
No, Kim say she ain't lost her since Kiara. Kiara about to turn 22.
It's her and Jarrell, right? I ain't lost
that's baby fat.
So what is it that you like? How do you keep that spark? And this is for unmarried women too, because they said they feel like they have to go to the gym all the time, or not do this and not do that to keep up with these younger women. And even if you're in a committed relationship or a marriage, how hard is that for a woman, Dizella?
It depends on the relationship that the woman and the man has. Because I promise you, I'm not gonna be breaking my doggone bad knees and my bad back trying to keep up so them little skinny heifers won't talk to him. Because if he want to be entertained by that, he's gonna be entertained no matter if I lose 100 pounds or if I get lipo, gastric, whatever the case may be. Nothing can keep a man unless they want to be kept.
Amen.
So these stretch marks I got, that's a map. That's my map. I heard a man tell a woman, that's maps. You can tell she been places and did some things. Don't nobody care nothing about no stretch marks.
No.
Don't nobody care about no muffin top. Because if the man love you, he gonna love every inch and every bit of everything that you bring.
Yep.
Now, Brittany said hormone changes all the time. Some feel like you have to work for that not to happen. Listen, Gisela, you and I both know we at that age where 1 minute I'm inferno going off in my body.
Who are you telling?
I'm like freezing. Well, I ain't never freezing, but I'm always hot. Sex drive up here 1 minute, sex drive down there 1 minute. Some days I want to be bothered, some days I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, I was about to say the mood swings. Some days I'm homicidal.
Right.
Is that what's wrong with Kim?
Yes.
Oh Lord, because I've been telling
1 minute she love you, and the next minute she don't want you around. That's hormones. That's what we go through.
Yes. I'm like, hey, I need some affection. She's like, get away from me. She's like, you were just all over me. Like, what the hell? I'm confused.
You in contact with be like, please don't touch me no more. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm confused. Yeah, be all over the place.
Yeah. And that's because we going through those changes.
Brittany said, I feel like mine changes all the time and I don't have kids. You don't have to have women body change. You're about to cross over into your 30s. You might have another year, but your body changes as the older you get. So whether you have children or not, your body is going to change.
Exactly.
You just go, and then the man that you are with has to understand. Men and see, so I don't know. Men don't go through these changes, but y'all go through y'all something.
Oh, they go through they go through their midlife crisis. They do. They go through that.
So how does that affect y'all? How does the menopause and men in their midlife crisis affect the marriage? It
hasn't. Well, I can only speak for my marriage. It had an effect on my marriage, not me with the menopause, but him going through his midlife crisis where he want to dress like he 21.
Baby, that was funny.
Girl,
that was funny to me.
Dressed like he's 21, want to grow dreads with a big George Jefferson bald spot in the middle. He went through his changes, and I hated it. But guess what? I just told him I didn't like it, but he had to find that out for himself.
That he didn't like it.
That he didn't like it. Now don't get me wrong. I sure was doing some hummers and praying because I thought that was awful.
Brittany said he looked nice. Leave my shit alone. Don't be doing him like that.
No, but as far as the menopause, some days he really catch it, but he know, hey, baby, I'm gonna stop taking it personal because I know it's changes you going through.
So how does that affect? You don't even know, Rokara. How would that affect you? Because I'm telling you, like the reason why I'm asking this question because I would be looking at stuff and statistics. At a certain age, women's like in their late 30s, 40s, women's sex drive goes up, men's sex drive goes down, and then they switch.
Yeah,
because we start going through menopause and stuff, and our body changes. So how would that affect your relationship, your marriage, your midlife crisis?
For me, it for me, mine hasn't changed, and it's affecting it as far as I'm talking about my sex drive. Mine hadn't changed. You can ask Kim, hey, I'll hump her leg in a minute. I'm just saying, but it's her. She was like, you always trying to hump something. I haven't changed since day one. She like, when are you gonna ever not want it? I was like, no, I'm not gonna never not. I'm gonna always want it. You should be happy that I'm still trying to get it every day.
I think men always want it. It's just that sometimes y'all just be like, okay, I know she don't want me to touch her today. Let me let her alone.
Oh, I do that. I accept that now. I don't have no, I don't have no choice. Kim a little more vocal than she was back then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, Ricard, no. If she feel me rolling or roll over the cover and her back into me, no, Ricard. And I just stopped because ain't no point in me keep trying and I'm gonna get mad. So I just stopped. When she say no, I just now I just stop. I already know. Depending how she says no, because I know if she like no, and it's a little firm behind being a little firm. Oh, I know not to mess with her, but she's like, no, don't do that. Oh, I know it's on. But as I wanted to answer the question you said earlier, because me and Kim been so long. When you say how do you keep it going, spicy, hot, or whatever. For me and Kim, I think it works because of the type of person we're totally opposite of one another. She's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. I like to have a good time. We in the house, she gonna sit around. She gonna be like, "Ooh, entertain me, daddy." So I get up and I start dancing and singing, and I like to go. And she would prefer to go, walk and look at a museum or go sit in the park. I don't like picnics, but she like it, so I have a picnic every once in a while. So being so different and me being the type of person that I am, I entertain her in a minute. Like I done some crazy stuff just to make her laugh.
How do you keep the spice in your relationship, Gisela?
Honestly, we go to hotels. For whatever reason, he enjoys going to hotels, and we go in there and play and role play and.
That's your sneaky link at that time.
And don't forget about the toys.
That's what it is. Because and I asked him.
House to yourself.
And that's what I asked him why when we have this entire house and it's just me, him, and the dog, But he says he could be himself when he goes to the hotel, and we could role play and when we home,
You can't be your whole self in the house.
I don't understand it. He said because this is where he's stressed at. This is where he worry at. This is where he think about his children and his grandchildren. And it won't. I mean, yeah, we have sex here sometime, but for the most part, we'll go to a hotel and he's relaxed. No responsibilities, just me and him enjoying one another.
Let it loose and just foot loose, fancy free, anything
right.
goes. Yeah.
So we go to hotels a little bit on a regular.
For me and Kim, it's we go like sometimes we still do this to this day, and we used to do it back in our 20s also. We would like sometimes if we go somewhere, say we go to a lounge or a bar or something, like we'll separate and she'll go sit at the bar and say for instance some men try to talk to her and I'll come up there and act like I'm macking on her and she'll give me all the play. And then they we just do stuff like that. Or I say, Kim, I want go get me a shot of Patron or a shot of Don Julio and a Michelob Ultra. And she'll go to the bar and somebody gonna always ask her, can I buy you a drink? And they were like, oh yeah, give me a shot of Don Julio and a Michelob Ultra. Yeah. We do stuff like that because we have fun with each other. Like, believe it or not, as quiet as Kim is, she clowns when it's just me and her. Yeah, she clowns, but we do stuff like we'll just go out. They were like, dang, man, what you got? I don't got. I was just like, man, I just got it. They're not knowing that's my wife. Yeah.
So you would say that. Now, let me ask this question. Could y'all do that if y'all wasn't married? Could y'all have that type of relationship if you were not married?
We could do that if we weren't married, but Kim wouldn't be with me if we wasn't married. She is that thing is important to her. That piece of paper, oh, that's very important to her. Like, yes, the type of woman she is, oh no. Yeah, if we weren't gonna be together, if we weren't getting married, we weren't about to be together.
Do you think that I mean,
I think for me, back in my days, if he wouldn't have married me, I'd have been a hoe.
Oh,
We kind of talked about that last week also.
yeah.
I really would have been a hoe because number one, I like sex too much. Number two, I find, God did his thing when he made a man.
And we
So
feel the
I would have,
same way.
and then me, I was always into different races. They didn't just have to be black. I just find I just found men attractive. You
I mean,
know.
I saw men attracted too, but I don't, I got this phobia.
So in my case, I had to get married because if not, I'd have been a female hoe.
You wouldn't have been a hoe. You just would have been enjoying yourself as well. You should have, as long as you take yourself.
Yeah.
Well, look, I can say part of me is like I don't mind not being married, but I do want to be married. Okay. Listen, do I like being single? Most definitely. Do I enjoy being single? Yes. And as Gazella said, I had some whole days. A lot of whole days.
Dang, yo. Just holding it up.
I was. I'm gonna be honest about that. I was doing me.
We all been there.
Right. So I was doing it. But
as
I got older, it was like
something.
Huh?
You look down and to your left, you visualize something in your head.
I did. Pray for your girl. But as I get older, I would love to share my life with somebody besides my children, right? Because I want them to have their own lives. Even though they say I'm controlling, I want them to know what it is to be loved, to have a man to have your back unconditionally, that loves you, that respects you, that loves God. So I want that for myself, and I want it to be an example for my girls because I have girls. So that is a desire of mine, is to be. Did I tell you I don't like my children?
Don't none of them do.
She said we want you to be married too, girl. See, this is why. I think is I got content living and doing things on my own, being single. So it's kind of like having somebody in here that I got to share stuff with. But I remember Miss Valerie had said in one of my shows that you have to prepare yourself to be a wife. And it took me a minute.
Well, you don't have to prepare yourself to be a wife. God has to prepare you to be a wife because you can wait a minute, hold on.
Did I need to be a wife? I still need to do things right. Like, don't no man want no wife that don't clean or cook or
But that don't have anything to do with you getting yourself together, because you can't get you together. Yes, you can clean, you can cook, you can clean, cook, whatever. You can cook, you can clean, but that's just who you are as a person. You like a neat house. We like neat houses. So, but only God can prepare you to be a wife. If you go, and I told you this before years ago, if you go to the book of Esther, you can see how the women prepared Esther, but it was really the Lord working through the women, preparing her for her king. Because you can't get rid of.
I have to share my space. Some men don't mind if women don't cook. That's true. But this is another thing that I do have, and you have ready mentally.
That ain't true, Yomi.
What?
I'm a man.
You want to?
We mind if you can't. I'm telling you, a woman that can throw down in the kitchen, we gonna come back for that, because getting a good meal If you're not with a woman that can cook, they come few and far and in between. Ain't nothing like a home cooked meal. I can tell you this from what it was. I was in my 20s or at this point. Long as you can cook, food was always my first love. I may love kill, but I'm just telling you. So, and you can cook. Oh, we gonna come home to that. I'm telling you, sex is one thing. But what me personally, what I like to do after sex, I like to eat.
And then too, if you're not cooking for that man, some little stinking helper gonna pick up on that
and gonna cook for him.
Yep. And that's a way for the devil to come in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Brittany,
invite your man.
You better start cooking, baby.
I just want to thank you for this. And
yeah.
Cook for him. Yeah.
But I think it's not just cooking. I think now, listen, I tell my kids, you don't have to be like your mama when it comes to tedious cleaning in the house. You ain't gotta be like me. And that's another problem. Shut your mouth. The other issue I have is that am I ready? Because I get my dad drives me crazy when I'd be like, why? So I'm like you said, the Lord has to prepare me to ease me into. If you don't pick that up, I know y'all done seen this on the floor. Who done drop that? You know what I'm saying? I can't go to my husband and be like that.
Right.
And I can't. I'd be like, why? I know you just saw that fall and you just walked over it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Or record. What you gonna do with that paper you sat on the island right there? Record. Did you just put this over here on my side? Yeah. Hey, why you do that? Yeah. Kim like that.
You're right, but baby, I'm trying to work on letting a man lead. Listening. Brittany said, I hate cooking just for myself. It is just me. I get annoyed when there's too much food left over. Hey, even with two people, you know. But I mean, again, you have to let the God prepare you to be a wife or a husband. And I don't know if everybody wants to. Let me just say, I know people who do not want to be wives, or I know men who don't want to get married. They want the benefits of the relationship, but they don't want the title of having it.
It's responsibility come with those titles.
Right, exactly.
There's responsibility that comes with those titles. A wife and a husband is different than a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Because if I'm your boyfriend and girlfriend and you got kids, I don't have to get close to your kids, but I don't have to build a relationship with them.
That is another one of my questions. These marriages, how do you feel you just said it? But if I'm committed to you and I love you, I'm going to have to accept your children, even if I'm not married, right? However, that's on the flip side. Let's say, like me, I have children that are not, well, they're not small, but I have children, and someone coming in is going to have to love my children, but my children are grown. So they don't need a father. They just need somebody that's going to
be there.
To be there when their father cannot, but they don't need a father in their life. Does that make sense?
It does.
So why would you say, even though I'm not married to you, but you want to be in my life and you want to be with me, you want to build something, we buying this house, but I have children. How would you not mean you can't be close to my children?
I didn't say you can't be. I said you don't have to be. I didn't say you can't be.
Why wouldn't you want to be? Why wouldn't somebody want to be, though? That's crazy.
I'm just telling you from a male standpoint. If we not trying to get married, that means we not heavily invested in you. So why would we build any type of relationship with your child? Because we gonna know if we don't want to marry you, we not heavily invested in you. So we wouldn't get a relationship with your child. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't, and I know a lot of dudes. I know they wouldn't because they've been with women and for periods of time, but they know they always, man, I ain't gonna stay with her, and they don't do nothing with that woman's kids, no nothing. They're like, why am I gonna do something with her kid? Because they know at the end of the day they don't want to be with them.
But well, in that case, if that woman is a smart woman, if that man can't have a relationship with my children, he can't have a relationship with me because my children are a part of me. and they're my number one priority.
Yep. But it's a lot of women.
If you want to go biblical, the Bible says it's God,
Husband,
your husband,
God, your husband.
That's what I say, God, your husband, and you, right? So
It didn't say.
hold on, wait a minute. So if you just said my children are a priority. So if I am in a relationship or getting ready to get married to this man, and I have children, I'm not gonna marry him because they're not like this, like best friends with my children.
We didn't say best friends. We just said a relationship.
A relationship.
And she didn't say the man, not her children are the priority. She said her children are a part of her. She didn't say they was a priority.
Okay. Some people do not understand they have to love the kids just like you had them.
Right.
That's true.
Because you're not gonna be in a relationship with a man that don't have anything to do with your children, because you've been caring. Let's say you have small children.
Yep.
You're not gonna want to deal with nobody that don't want a part of your children, because your children are your priority.
How can you trust that person?
I'm gonna say this. Let me go ahead and say this. For me, in my house, I don't want a man with small children. I don't, because I don't want to be a mother like that again. My children are grown.
Right.
I don't want to have to go to PTA meetings. I don't want to have to take no diaper bags. I don't want to have to. I don't want to. I can do it with my grandchildren. Now, you got some grandchildren, I'm all for it because I can take them back to their mom and daddy.
Yep.
I don't want a man that has children in elementary school, middle school. I don't want that. Like in high school, I hope you almost the junior, senior almost out the house. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I want to go, I don't want. And some people say that's selfish of me.
No, that's not. I don't think that's selfish.
I don't think that's selfish either.
You want what you want, and God said He'll give you the desires of your heart. If that's not in your heart, it's not in your heart. Right. But that's not being selfish.
I want him. If he has children, I will love your children. I will love them but I don't want to be. I don't want
raising them.
That's it. I don't raise.
Okay.
Mine.
Let me give you a prime example. I have one of my sisters in one of my organizations. She married a man with a 3-year-old child.
Child now.
And guess who raising that child?
She is.
She is not the husband. She's raising the child.
Yep.
And this woman is about to be 60 years old.
Wow.
Why did she marry somebody with a 3-year-old?
How old is the man?
54.
But men can have children up to date.
We can have kids even after we die. All they got to do is withdraw the semen from your and implant it in a woman.
Well, I don't want that, and I can see
right
when you have a man, and I think that's why it's kind of when it comes to relationships, married or not, and you have these discussions, you have to be honest with the person or that you're with, right? You have to be honest and say, hey, you got little kids. I don't want that. I like you. I really do, but I don't want to have that type. I don't want to raise nobody else.
Right.
No, I agree.
Even if you have them on the weekend, that means I have to alter my weekends because you have your child on the weekend.
This woman that I'm talking about have the child Monday through Friday. The mama picks him up on Friday and bring him back on Sundays. But the woman is taking care of him.
Wow.
Because if I had a kid, if you cannot love my kids like they are no, I would not want to be with you. There is so much that happens to kids because of your husband comes first. This is why a lot of women feel how their kids feel or are treated does not come before your husband. Now listen, a true man, I guess, is going to understand that he is your husband. He's going to love you unconditionally, and with you comes your children. And you, as a wife, as a mother, you're going to have to balance the time with your husband and with your children. That's where a lot of women mess up. The women spend most of their time attending
with
to
the man.
and not attending to their children.
Yep.
So just like you have a date night with your husband, you got to have a date
Date night with your children. Yep.
Yep. But
I
most
agree
women, a lot
wholeheartedly.
of women, they get so I tell my girls that like you have a lot of women when they love a man, they spend their whole time trying to come up with a way to make this man happy, and they lose themselves inside of that man and forget about their own happiness. What is
Yep.
their happiness, their children's happiness? All they trying to do is keep that man and make him happy. But I feel like if a woman put her happiness first, she'll always be happy, and that man will always be happy as well.
Now,
Yep.
now, will my husband and I stand united if it is an issue with my kids doing wrong? Yes, I will, but I would go tell you behind closed doors if he is wrong. Do you mean you tell him that he's wrong?
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
Or okay. Now listen, and that's another thing when you have but see, let's say y'all children are by your spouses, right? We have a lot of blended families out here, and again, that's why a lot of people, men and women, don't want to get married because of how the significant other treats their children. When it comes to children, I feel for me, yes, my children are grown. Yes, Brittany lives on her own, but Jarrell lives with me because of her situation. You have to understand, Jarrell's gonna take a minute to get used to anybody anyway, right? She's on that spectrum, so she's gonna be like, okay, and then when she's gonna cling. So I gotta make sure that you understand who my child is, and what kind of a person she is. However, I don't want you to take advantage of her because of her situation. Because if I am not home, you are to be that parent figure for my daughter. I know she's about to be 22. However, you still are supposed to be that parent figure. Yes, she has a father, but he does not live in this state. So I am trusting you to be that person. The problem is a lot of people that come into what is it called? The relationship blended homes, one or the other doesn't want that responsibility. Or I was looking at something on what's it called? Instagram. Hey IG. And one lady said she wasn't gonna let her son go back to her father because his girlfriend, fiance, was beating the boy, was abusing him when he wasn't around. See, that's where a lot of people have, when it comes to a marriage or a significant other, how does that work in your relationships?
That's where communication comes in, because a woman and a man need to communicate that. Look, I got a child. I love my child. When I'm not around, don't you abuse him or don't you abuse her? Because if I find out, that's a deal breaker. You either going to jail or hell.
Yeah.
Or in the grave.
That's why I say jail or hell.
But the scripture that scripture people take it and run with it. I believe Ricard is right. I don't know what you're talking about. I will go behind Jarrell. I know you will. You cannot just talk to her any kind of girl. Jesus. Now the reason.
Oh, yo, you crazy.
My daughter, she is really protective of her sister. When I say this, I am blessed to have Brittany's stepmother. She doesn't call her stepmom. She calls her mother. Because she never not once treated Brittany that she was not her child.
Right.
Whole time her and her dad was together and still together, she has always treated Brittany as her child. And even now, I be like, you call your mom? I don't get a problem with her calling her mom. Right?
Right, because she treated her like a mom. Right.
So, and that's where, when it comes to relationships and marriages, blended families, that nowadays people don't understand or were brought up to understand that, because when you have a step parent, some children, like, that ain't my, they don't call, that's my stepdaughter, that ain't my daughter. No. Brittany was Aisha's child. Brittany is Aisha's child. You cannot tell her that that girl is not. I done gave birth to her, and I'm.
No, I understand because Kim had a kid before me and her, and you know that. Well, you said me and her, we have kids by our spouse, but I had kids before Kim, and Kim had a kid before mine. I say I have 9 kids because I still consider her child mine because me and her been together since he was like 11 months old. So I raised him.
Right.
So I say I have 9 kids, even though I took part in making 8.
Jesus. Further murder. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Further murder.
Yes, very good. But
when it comes to marriages, that's where people that's another hindrance. And I believe that's why people don't want to get married is because of I have a child and I don't want you to disrespect my child or hurt my child because then I'm going to jail or you're going to be 6 feet under. One of us going to wind up hurting each other because you're not going to treat my child. And a lot of men and women don't. I have a child, so screw your child.
No, I couldn't be with nobody like that. And if the sad part is,
that's right.
A lot of women. It's a lot of women out there that deal with that because they have low self-esteem and they just gonna deal with that man and they happy to just have a man. But me personally, I will never respect anyone, man or a woman, if they choose the person, their significant other, over their children, or a man that chooses to. If I see you clean, but yet I see your son or daughter over here got on rags. I can't respect that.
Right.
So nothing comes before, my responsibility. But I was raised by my grandfather, so hey. So that's the way. I can't respect nobody like that. I can't.
I have a lot of friends that do not get how close I am with her because they treat their spouses' kids different. Yes. See, that's nothing. Let me tell you that. And the reason why I've always have a relationship with Brittany's daddy, I let's try to have a relationship with Drell's daddy and Drell's stepmom and stuff. Because when my father and my mother, even though they separated and he wound up marrying somebody else, you couldn't tell us that lady wasn't our mama too. Because my dad and my mother always got together and it was like, well, dang, I don't know who's who. And you know what I'm saying? And that's how I was brought up. So in a marriage, it should be, your child is mine. I'm gonna discipline your child like y'all discipline my child. Now, I'm not gonna. Right. But sometimes, this is another question I have for y'all. But y'all don't have blended families, so I can't really ask this question. But
we do.
She don't. Yeah,
record.
Oh,
record does.
So, do you sometimes like be more lenient with Kim's child because he is not yours?
No. No. I treat them all. Hey, I treat them all the same, and they all know that I'm not gonna do something for one of you that I can't do for every one of you. So you might as well not even ask. That's why I ain't never bought one of my kids a car because I can't buy 9 cars. I mean, I probably could, but it's gonna take a long time.
Right. Brittany said my stepmom's whole family treated me like theirs. Yes, they did. Like you just can't tell.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing for
real. Yes, it is.
Because you don't have that a lot, and it hinders children's growth. It stops their growth because they're not feeling loved over here. It does something to their mentality.
And I believe that is why a lot of women, most women, some women do not want to get married. Because of that situation, whereas are you going to treat my child or men? Because let me tell you, but there's some evil women out here.
Evil people.
People who will treat your child bad, but will love the socks off of you.
Yep. It is.
And that's sad. It's really sad.
Yep, it is. It truly is.
So again, that's why some people just don't want to get married. A lot of people out here do not want to get married, men and women. But then that goes back to, is marriage a necessity? What do you say?
Me or Miss?
Both y'all.
Well,
is it a necessity? Is it something that we can live without, or is it something that you believe that we should cherish and do more?
I believe that it ties into the person, because if you have a person who is of faith, marriage would be a necessity for them to truly be happy. But then you have some people that doesn't have a lot of faith or belief in God and stuff. Things, values, and things like that are not important to that person. So for me, it all depends on the person. Is it a need that you're gonna die if you don't get it? No, but it's not as fulfilling it wouldn't be fulfilling for someone that is of faith to be with someone for a long time as if they were married. They just couldn't. I just don't think a person could be happy. Is it a necessity? It depends on who you are and what your beliefs are.
Brittany said, I cherish like having a partner. What do you say, Dazella?
I say the same thing Ricard says. It depends on the individual. For me, it was a necessity because I know, I knew me and what I was capable of doing. So for me, it was a necessity.
So did you get married because you didn't want to be a hoe?
No, I got married because I loved him. But if we wouldn't have got married, I would have been a hoe.
Oh, okay. I just had to know because that's the only reason why he got married.
Hey, she said God led her to him. So yeah, so hey, I'm telling you, I totally believe in that. And it was a time in my life I kind of lost my faith because of the things I seen or done in the military. So I done been there, and me and Kim have been through those things. Yeah. You like, hey, so I've been there, done it. Time heals all wounds.
It depends on
the individual.
Yeah. If it's a necessity, or can you be committed and not have that piece of paper? Because everybody say marriage it ain't nothing but a piece of paper, but that piece of paper goes a long way.
Yeah,
it does.
So it just depends on the individual.
Yeah,
Brittany says she's on the fence.
Girl, get off that fence.
Hey, when you get to missing out on some benefits on that fence, you're gonna fall over on that marriage side. Okay, I'm just saying. And you're in a military town, you got a high probability you're gonna meet a man in the military or has some affiliation with it, and you are not getting anything without that piece of paper. So you better follow on over. Get off that fence, Brittany. I say, Brittany, get off that fence.
She said something serious. Marriage, it's all on the individuals that are in it.
Right.
Don't get married just because everybody else get married. Get married because this is the person that you can see yourself with for the rest of your life. And that you want to respect and love and cherish for the rest of your life. If not, if you want to be out here living what is it?
Footloose and fancy free.
Don't get married because marriage is not for you.
Unless you're doing it with your significant other, because you can be footloose and fancy free with your spouse if y'all have that type of relationship.
Exactly. But until then, just make sure, marriage is something that you want to do and that you desire to do.
Right.
And if it's a necessity. It is. If it's not, it's on you.
But
I thank you all so much. What's up?
Oh, never mind. You were about to go. I was about to ask you something. We didn't never get the answer from last week. No, we ain't gonna get on it. I'll wait another day. I'm sure you'll have a topic that I'm gonna put because we need to go back eventually. Maybe not the same topic, but along the lines about that polygamy stuff we talked about.
Oh, okay. We'll go back to that. I thank you both for being on here today. You all have done a lot. I've said a lot, and I thank you all, and I love you all.
Love
Until
you.
next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great rest.